Good day, students. How are you doing? This is me again, Sir Navarro, and welcome to our new tutorial video. In this video, we're going to talk about writing quadratic equation given its roots, okay? The sum and product. So let's proceed. So as the first video we made, we have this general quadratic equation which is in standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, and can also be written as x squared minus alpha plus beta x plus the product of alpha and beta equal to 0. So where alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation. So yeah, the same thing here. So this is our sum and our product formula. If you are given the roots, you use this one. If you are given the equation, this one, the quadratic equation, you use this one to get the sum and product. Now, this time around, you're going to write the equation if you are given the roots and its sum or product. So let's proceed. So if you know the roots are alpha is 2, beta is -3. So again, alpha and beta can be any representation, okay? So in this case, you can have two options, okay, to write the equation given its roots, okay? So if you have the root, you can actually use this method, no? We have the x minus alpha and the x minus beta. By the way, the x here, it can be also any variable. You can use y, h, etc., etc. So any representation will cater. So now, using this formula, you can just simply place the value of alpha and beta in the formula. So x minus alpha, quantity x minus beta is equal to 0. So this becomes x minus 2, and then the other one, since the beta is -3, so x minus the -3 equal to 0. After that, we simplify the second group of this second parenthesis. We have this becomes negative times the -3 is +3, right? Now you notice that there is a FOIL word here. So the abbreviation, if you still remember, it stands for the first, outer, inner, and last term. So basically, you use the FOIL method in multiplying and expressing this quadratic equation in standard form. So so we have here the first, x times x, then outer, x times 3, inner to -2 times x, and then last, -2 times +3. So basically, x times x is x squared, x times 3, +3x, -2 times x, -2x, then -2 times 3 is -6 equal to 0. So then you combine the like terms. So 3x minus 2x, we have positive x. X squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0, right? Now, what if you are given the sum? For example, the sum of these roots are sum is -1, right? And then the product is product is -6. So basically, you can just use this formula, right? If you use this formula, this method, you can actually it will shorten your solution actually. So this is your second option. So you can just simply replace the sum here. This becomes -1. Or if you are given the roots, you can just write it directly, okay, like this: 2 plus the -3, and then take note of the sign. This should be negative, okay? So 2 plus the -3, and then the product here, we have 2 times the -3, okay? So basically, if you go directly replacing the values, this is the sum here is -1, and then the product is -6, right? So it will end up giving you x squared, since negative times -1 is +1, right? +1x, and minus 6. So therefore, your equation is x squared plus x minus 6 equal to 0. So that's it. That's how you place the values, how you get the quadratic equation given its roots or its sum, right? So you can have the first step, the first option earlier, given the roots, or if you are given the sum and product, you can actually use this method. Okay, now let's proceed to another example. We have here, let's identify first the sum. The sum is -5 and -4, that's -9. Product is positive 20, right? So now we'll use the first option that we had earlier. So we simply substitute it here. So this becomes x plus x times the -4, x minus the -4, and x minus the -5. So that becomes plus the two of them. Then you use the FOIL method. We have here x times x, x squared, x times 5, 5x, x times 4, 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times 5 is 20, right? Then if you combine these two, 5x and 4x, that's basically 9x, right? So x squared plus 9x plus 20 equal to 0. Now what if you are given the sum, only the sum, you don't know this thing, this two here, so you are only given the sum and product. So just simply use this formula. Replace the sum, which is the first group, which is -9, right? So basically, and then the other one is positive 20. So yeah, if I show the solution given the roots, basically it will give the same thing also, because if you add this becomes -9, and then this is positive 20, right? So same thing, negative times the -9, that is basically positive 9, then plus 20. So x squared plus 9x plus 20. So notice that if you are given only the sum and product, this part of the solution will not come out anymore. Okay, if you are given only the sum and product, assuming you don't have the roots. Okay, so just have this part, first part, then this one, and then this one. Okay, so just simply substitute the values, the sum and product into this formula. So you have to take note and always remember the formula also. So yes, let's have another example. We have 7i and -7i as roots. Let's get the sum first. The sum is 0, right? 0. Because if you add them together, it will be 0. And then the product is, it should be -7i times the -7i. So basically 7 times 7, that's basically that's -49i square, right? And then take note, you'll see later what is the value of I square. Okay, so now we replace the value, which is this one, x minus 7i. The other one is x minus the -7i. So the other one, it becomes plus 7i, and then just copy the first one. Then we do the FOIL method. Okay, so x times x, x squared, x times 7. Actually, this is positive. Okay, I interchanged the two. Okay, so x times 7, this is 7ix. -7ix times x, that is -7ix. So basically, and then the last part, -7i times positive 7i is -49i squared. Now take note, I is equal to the square root of -1, okay? And then if you square I, basically the square root of -1, which gives us cancellation of the radical symbol, and I square is just equal to -1, okay? So now, if you add the middle term, it will just give you simply 0, right? 7ix plus -7ix plus 7ix is just 0. Now the rest, why is it positive 49? Okay, now diba, if we have this notion that I square is equal to -1, visibly we can say that 49 I square is multiplied by -1 na, because I square is equal to -1 man, right? So basically this is positive 49, okay? So that is why this becomes positive 49, okay? Now what about we use the second option, second style? So this method, x squared minus alpha, quantity alpha plus beta x plus the product of the roots. So again, I've said earlier, you can just simply replace this sum here. Sum is 0, right? And then the product is 49 positive, okay? Now, if we simplify that, it will just come up with this answer. Okay? So, same thing will happen if you simplify this. It will just give you 0. Right? 7i plus the negative 7i is just 0. And then this one, negative 49i squared or positive 49. Okay, next example we have here. A is negative 3 halves and alpha is negative 3 halves and beta is 3 halves. So let's check first if the sum is, what are the sum and product. Sum is, of course, negative 3 halves plus positive 3 halves. That's basically 0, right? Because they have the same fraction, but the sign is different. So basically, that's 0. It's more likely like 1 minus 1, it's 0, right? So P, that's basically, if you multiply the two, negative 3 halves times 3 halves, that's negative 9 over 4, right? So now, if we use the first method we have here, we just simply replace the values, this one. So we have, so we have here, this will be changed to positive, and then this one just copy. We have, 3x, 3 over 2, and then this one is negative 3 over 2. So we use the FOIL method. We have x times x squared plus 3 halves x, which is x times, actually this is interchange. We had, did not notice that I interchanged the value, but anyways, it will just give us the right answer. So x times negative 3 halves is this one, negative 3 halves x. 3 halves x, 3 halves times x, this is positive 3 halves x. And then 3 halves times negative 3 halves, that's negative 9/4. So basically, if we simplify the middle, it will just give us a 0, right? Because 3 halves minus 3 halves x is 0. And then it will come up x squared minus 9 over 4 equal to 0. But we can also write this one, if we get rid of the denominator, we can just multiply 4 on both sides. So if you multiply 4 on both sides, of course this will become 9, and then this will become 4x squared minus 4 minus 9 equal to 0. 0 4 times 4, that's basically 0, right? So yeah. Now let's proceed to the other method, which is simply substituting the sum and the product of the equation. So x squared minus alpha, the sum of alpha and beta x, and the product of alpha and beta. So simply replace it here, and then yeah, that's it. 9 over 4. Okay, and then yeah, x squared minus 9 over 4, or yeah, the one I said earlier, we multiply 4 on both sides so that we can get rid of the fraction. Okay, this is our equation. Now let's have another last one example. We have here square root of 3 and negative square root of 3. So substitute, this one becomes positive square root of 3, and then the other one x minus square root of 3 equal to 0. So you use the FOIL method. We have here x times x, we have x squared. X times square root of 3, that is square root of 3x. Negative square root of 3 times x, we have negative square root of 3x. We have negative square root of 3 times square root of 3 is basically negative square root of 9, or square root of 9 is 3, of course. Why is it 0? Because they have the same radical, square root of 3, and the same variable. It's just a sign are not the same. So it's just the same thing with 1 minus 1, which is 0. Okay? So x squared minus 3, which came from square root of 9, negative square root of 9 is x squared minus 3. And then that's it. That's our equation. Okay? This is our equation. Now what about if we use the other method, this one? So let's try to get the sum first. The sum of these two is, as I've said earlier, this is just the sum is 0. Okay? Square root of 3 minus square root of 3 is 0. The product is negative square root of 9, or simply negative 3. So 0, this one is negative 3 here. So of course, that will give you x squared minus 3. Okay? So I hope you learned something, and thank you and God bless.